And I'm here to tell you, if you have an option between crashing out and crashing in, crash out. Don't let the crash happen inside of you, because if it does, sometimes it destroys your voice. Sometimes it destroys your self-esteem. Sometimes it destroys your confidence, and it destroys your understanding of the kinds of people you need to surround yourself with. It destroys your faith in humanity. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Beyond Words with me, Najwa. I'm a firm believer in the power of words to heal and to help you grow and expand into the world. And I'm also a firm believer in their power to break you, to poison you, to change your life in a way that you never saw coming. This week's episode is on a topic that is controversial because everyone says, be the bigger person, don't let people bring you down to their level. Let people be who they want to be, and I'm here to tell you today, stop being the bigger person. Stop putting yourself in environments that require you to be the bigger person. The only thing that's going to give you is strong muscles to keep yourself calm and quiet. And what that does to you is it pumps you up with all the things you want to say, that you feel like, oh, I'm bigger than saying that. Let it out. I got this analogy the other day as I was driving. We've been using the term crashing out, where people will say, oh, I crashed out the other day. Or like, you really want to see me crash out? Because I will. And it's painted as a relieving thing to do, but at the same time, it's the term. Crash out. It's a little bit negative, like you've gone crazy. You've said things that you later look back at and say, well, in a normal situation, I wouldn't have said that, but I said that, I crashed out. And I'm here to tell you, if you have an option between crashing out and crashing in, like taking it all in and having that crash out that happens on the outside where you let it all out, you keep it inside and it causes destruction inside of you. And it tells you, don't say it, because if you do, you're going to be seen a certain way. Or if you do, you're going to be looked at as a bad person. Crash out. Don't let the crash happen inside of you, because if it does, sometimes it destroys your voice. Sometimes it destroys your self-esteem. Sometimes it destroys your confidence, and it destroys your understanding of the kinds of people you need to surround yourself with. It destroys your faith in humanity. Because all that frustration and that anger that was caused by things outside of you needs to stay outside of you. When somebody aims an arrow at you, you could be the strongest person in the world, but that arrow was aimed directly at you. Where is it going to go? It's going to hurt you somehow. You're either going to take it out and crash out, or you're going to leave it in here and say, you know what? I'm used to this. I'm not going to show them that I'm bleeding as a result of the pain they caused me. Let them see it. Who cares? You're healing. Your healing doesn't have to look the way that other people believe it deserves to look. There are people in the world who give themselves the right to constantly be in a state of crash out, where they're never, ever, ever taking responsibility, where they're never, ever, ever holding themselves accountable for their behavior, where they're never dealing with their inner triggers and their inner world. They're not living in a way where they're introspective and reflective. They don't work on themselves. And they think that they are justified being the way that they are because that's just the way that they are. But then they look at you and you're like, but you can't be the way that you want to be. If we look at you and you are also living in a constant state of crash out where You always project your insecurities, and you always make people feel bad about themselves, and you always only think of yourself and not consider other people around you, they'll recognize that as bad about you, but not about themselves, because they haven't taken the time to reflect on who they are and how they operate in the world. People who have double standards with their behavior versus yours, they can be inconsiderate towards you, but don't you dare be inconsiderate towards them. They can lie to you because, they don't want your reaction and whatever, but if you lie to them, all hell will break loose. People who justify selectively keeping things out and not looking at that as being untruthful or lying or selective dishonesty, but then when you keep something out, they're like, how dare you do that? Those people are living in a constant state of crashing out, and we don't see it as a crash out because it's how they are at all times. And if you're listening to this, I'm assuming that the people in your life are ones that you have been indirectly forced to accept as that's just how they are. And you've never given yourself permission to think, well, maybe you need to be different. Maybe you need to do some changes. But you've taken 100% of the responsibility of managing your triggers as a result of what they do. And you're sitting there spending hours looking up ways to be unbothered and ways to just let people be who they want to be and ways to keep your composure, because they've taught you that the shameful thing is not their behavior. The shameful thing is your reaction to their behavior. They've taught you that the shameful thing isn't their intentional, but that you can never put your finger on it. Like, you can never prove that it was intentional, but it happens often enough that you feel it. Like, your gut tells you, you feel it. And they intentionally try to push your buttons, or they passive aggressively say or do things that are meant to keep you in a state of keeping your calm and keeping your cool, but really on the inside, you're just fuming. And you tell yourself, I can't believe that I actually have to tell somebody that this is wrong. I can't believe that I have to correct what they're saying. I can't, how do you explain to a human being basic human respect? How do you explain to a human being basic decency and how to not make another person feel so excluded and so small? When did we get to a point where we have to explain to people how to treat us with basic human decency? That's really sad. So if you're always in an environment or you're spending your time around people where you're forced to keep yourself as the bigger person, you're going to explode at some point. You're going to, if they're down here and you're constantly forcing yourself to be up here, but they're like, I'm going to bring you down. I need to prove that you're exactly like me. I need to prove that you're not better than me. Then you're in a constant state of trying to resist. And think of the difference between standing still, right? And being confident in who you are and not needing to expend your energy in this direction or that direction. Just imagine yourself standing with nothing holding you back, nothing pushing you in a different direction. It's just you, and you are in full control, versus someone trying to constantly pull you or push you or provoke you. And you're like, nope, I'm going to stay in balance. They're going to push you by lying to you. They're going to push you by describing people who are like you, but not directly saying your name to make you feel a certain way without directly saying it. They're going to pull you towards them by making a comment about something that you said in the past that they know that you live by, and they say the complete opposite, or they degrade people who believe in those things, and you're constantly like, be the bigger person, bring yourself back to stability and stay strong and whatever. And then at one point, and this is not physical, this is metaphorical, you're going to look at that person and you're going to punch them in the face, and you're going to say, get the hell away from me. Don't you dare speak to me that way ever again. Don't you dare do that again. In your natural state, if you were never surrounded by those people, would you ever do that? Probably not. So I want you to reflect on what it does to you to be around people who constantly force you to take a deep breath and be the bigger person, and you're better than this, and you know better. It's exhausting. You're balancing on, the when you go to the circus and you have somebody walk on that really thin line, that's what you're doing. It's exhausting. Even if you just do it for 30 seconds. The fact that you're being forced to be the one to keep your balance, to prove that you are on the right path for yourself, when there's people beneath you trying to swing that cord back and forth for you to constantly be on balance. What does that do to you? In a shorter amount of time, they cause you so much turmoil and so much instability and so much confusion that by the time you're done being the bigger person, you're an exhausted person. You have no energy for the other people in your life who don't require you to go big or to go small, to step out of character or to be someone that you don't recognize. And you're just exhausted and you just need to rest. And what that does over time is it isolates you, because when you don't have the energy for the right people in your life and you're constantly spending your time with the wrong people and around the wrong people, you come to learn that this is just how life is. And you adapt to a lifestyle of, I just have to take a deep breath and just not let them get to me. People who pick up on the fact that you are a good person and you are kind and you're not somebody who raises your voice will bank on you staying quiet. And they will say, I'm going to keep punching you, metaphorically. I'm going to keep making digs at you, and I know you're not going to say anything because you're a good person. You're trapped in the cage of being a good person, so I will keep trying and keep going at you until you finally scream in my face, and I'm going to say, oh, how dare you scream at me? Those kinds of people do not deserve your time. And if you are with them, if you are around them, they could be your family, could be your colleagues, your boss, your partner, your friends, your community, your religious community, or whatever community that you're part of. Think of the amount of effort it takes for you to snap back to who you are every time you spend your time with them. And tell me if that energy is worth it for you. I know deep in your soul, you know that it's not good for you, so I'm not going to tell you right now, listen to this episode and cut the cord and leave those people behind and never look back. I know it's not realistic to do that. If you can, amazing, go ahead and do it. But what I will ask you to do today, and this is just a small step, spend 1 hour, just 1 hour of your day with someone, whether it's having a conversation, going for coffee, going for dinner, or if it's somebody who's at a long distance from you, do a Zoom date, whatever it is. Think of one person in your life who you can be your relaxed self with, where you're not putting effort into proving anything to them or not proving something to them or defending yourself or trying to be the bigger person. And just invest an hour of your day speaking to that person, interacting with them, being in their presence. And this is the part that I want you to reflect on. After the first 10, 15 minutes of speaking to that person or being in their presence, take 10 seconds to just ask yourself, do like a body check with yourself and ask, how do I feel? Am I tense? Am I sitting with my fists closed? Am I sitting with my back like this? Am I being small? Am I feeling like this tension in my shoulders and in my chest? Or how am I feeling? And if it's somebody who doesn't force you to be the bigger person, you're going to be in your full relaxed nervous system state. And then the next time you're hanging out with the people who constantly force you to be the bigger person, I also want you to check in with your body, not even 10, 15 minutes into it, 10, 15 minutes before you're in their presence. Do a body check and how do you feel? And I guarantee you're going into that environment with your armor up. You're ready to stand up for yourself. You are on guard because you know the moment I walk in there, there's going to be attacks at me from every direction. And then compare, which state do you want to live in for the rest of your life? And I guarantee you, the more and more you ask yourself that question, the more you will increase that hour to an hour and a half, then to 2, then to 3. And it's not necessarily with the same person who allows you to just be in that calm presence. You'll start meeting new people. You'll start allowing other people into your life who just let you be who you are and accept you as you are and don't feel the constant urge to break you down or to bring down your spirit or to humble you. People who try to humble you, and I'm going to give you some examples because sometimes it's, like I said, you can't put your finger on it, but you know it's happening. When somebody's trying to humble you, sometimes it's through their silence. When you share some amazing news, when you share that, you have a new brand that's interested in you, or when you share that you have a new business opportunity, or you woke up in the morning and you felt so good about yourself, you will be met with silence. That's somebody who is trying to humble you. That's somebody who is not happy for your happiness, and they might be jealous of you. And I know there's a part of you that thinks, well, we're all human and we're going to feel that way, and it's true. But also, there are 8 billion people on this earth. Why choose the people who you need to teach to be happy for you? Why choose the people who you need to teach to not be passive aggressive with you? Why choose the people who you need to change their whole perspective on how they see you and the world around you? You have a choice. And I know the world feels so small in your eyes because remember the isolation that happens because you're expending so much of your energy with these people, and whatever you have left after being with them or being around them, you're just like, I just want to rest. Like, it's when you're tense like this for so long, the last thing your body wants to do is keep going. What it wants to do is to just relax, sleep, eat, not do anything that requires energy. So you need to be selective with where your energy goes and with the consequences of where your energy goes. You could spend 1 hour around someone who hates you or is jealous of you, or, like I said, is constantly pushing your buttons and being like, well, I know that you're always going to be the bigger person, so I'm going to try to get away with as much as I can. You could spend 1 hour with that person in your day and require the next 23 hours to relax from that. And you can spend that 1 hour with somebody who welcomes you as you are and who celebrates you and who makes you feel their presence and makes you feel the appreciation that they feel to be in your presence. And you spend that hour with them, and then you feel like you're walking on a cloud, and you have all the energy in the world to go do more and go shopping and go cook a nice meal and go for a walk and dance and write and draw and do whatever, paint. Because you didn't spend your entire time being tense and being on edge and living in a way where you're defending your character, where you're defending who you are. People who want to see you as not worthy of being where you are in life will constantly be pushing your buttons to say, I'm going to bring you down here. Like you're gonna break at some point. I know you are, but I'm gonna tell myself that I don't see it coming, so that when it happens, I'm gonna say, wow, that's an overreaction. And then there's a part of you that says, well, if I reacted to you every single time, I may have done this, but I didn't. I kept it all inside until it got to a point where what I said came across as a slap in the face, because you deserve it. How dare you put me through everything that you put me through? How dare you treat me like I'm a lot smaller than the greatness that I am, and then the greatness that's within me? How dare you? There comes a point in your life where you take so much, you put up with so much, you let people walk all over you, you let them get away with so much, you tell yourself, I know better and I know where they're coming from, and it's just immaturity and it's just insecurity and it's just whatever. Like, you give all these excuses because you're understanding and you know better, and you've read psychology books and you're into self-help and you do this and you do that, and they're not as aware. And there comes a point where every single time that they hurt you in some way, spoke to you in some way, degraded you in some way, intended to make you feel like something is wrong with you, brought you down in some way, all the times that you thought, oh, it's just it's just one thing. I've put up with worse from them. I can put up with this. A point will come where something from inside of you says, we can't do this anymore. It's kind of like when you feel like you're about to puke, you're feeling nauseous. Every time they do something bad, you get that sick feeling inside of you, and then you push it down. And then the moment right before you're about to puke where you're like, nope, that's it, I'm puking. Something from inside of you comes up and says, you're not pushing me down anymore. And you know what that is? It's your integrity. It tells you, nuh-uh, no more. We are not allowing this anymore. We are not accepting this anymore. You are so much bigger than this. But stop forcing yourself to stay up high when somebody who is giving energy towards you that's 10 times heavier than you and 10 times heavier than you can handle, that's constantly pulling you down. And you're like, no, I have to stay the bigger person. Your integrity says, we're cutting this. No more. All the times I thought I couldn't stand up for myself, that's over. All the time I thought I couldn't speak up for myself, that's over. All the times I thought I needed to listen to your degrading words, and I needed to put up with your disrespect, and I needed to put up with your exclusion, and I needed to put up with your knowing how your behavior affects me and doing it intentionally, no more. That's your integrity. So this is the reflection I want you to do today. You want to write to me about it? Please do. You want to do it in your own journal? Please do. You want to record it on your phone? Please do. If you were to let your integrity to come all the way up and to do what it needs to do and to say what it needs to say, what would it do and what would it say? Because your integrity has been a silent witness to everything that you've been going through. And it's had a lot to say, and it has reminded you repeatedly of who you are and what your value is. And now it's time to shine. What does your integrity say? I guarantee you, one of the things that it is telling you is this. People who require you to always be the bigger person do not deserve 1% of your energy. I guarantee you that's one of the things it's going to tell you. Stop thinking that being in an environment where you always feel like you're better than everyone because you know better and because you're not coming down to their level makes you better, because what's happening is you're up here constantly there's people trying to pull you down, right? This is the maximum that you can go because you're constantly being pulled down and you're trying to bring yourself back up to where you were. When you no longer allow this, who knows where you're going to go in life? They're holding you back from the great places you can be in. They're holding you back from being in environments that pull you up and help you grow and expand into the world. But you're stuck because that's the maximum level you can go, is constantly trying to stay where you are, trying to stay afloat, trying to survive, trying to be the better person. Be in environments where the better you is always welcome and celebrated. Words from me to you. This is page 6 in my very first book, Mind Platter. This book will always hold probably the most special place in my heart because I wrote these writings long before I even knew that I would publish a book, and they came from my heart in a way that I thought I would be the only one who ever reads them. So they are probably the most intimate writings I've ever had, and they will always have come from a place of innocence in my life where I was just expressing my thoughts exactly as they came to me. This is titled, Stay True to Yourself. Don't worry about what people think of you or about the way they try to make you feel. If people want to see you as a good person, they will. If people want to see you as a bad person, absolutely nothing you do will stop them. Ironically, the more you try to show them your good intentions, the more reason you give them to knock you down. Keep your head up high and be confident in what you do. Be confident in your intentions and keep your eyes ahead instead of wasting your time on those who want to drag you back. Because you can't change people's views, you have to believe that true change for yourself comes from within you, not from anyone else. Words that found me. The author of these words is unknown, but they're very powerful. This is not being the bigger person. Not calling out someone's fault because you understand where they're coming from. Pushing aside constant disrespect because you want to keep the peace. Watering down your pain so that the other person feels less guilty. It's suppression. If you have a choice today between having to be the bigger person and speaking your truth, I hope that you speak your truth. It doesn't make you a smaller person. It makes you a person who understands how big and amazing you are. If you have an option between crashing out and crashing in, destroying yourself as a result of the pain they caused you, I hope you crash all the way out, because no one deserves to touch the amazingness that is within you. No one deserves to ever make you feel like you deserve to be broken down. I hope that this episode helped you. I hope that it reframed for you this teaching that you always have to be the bigger person. And I hope that it inspired you to, instead of trying to prove how big you are, just live in that way. Being big and glorious means you stand up for yourself. It means that you don't let people get away with their bad behavior. It means that you sometimes have to speak in a way that removes the smile off your face, and that removes the, I'm so kind and I'm so amazing and I never get upset. No, you do get upset. When you understand how glorious you are as a person, you do get upset. You do get angry at the way that people treat you because you know your worth. If this episode helped you, please share it with someone. Please leave a rating, a review, tell the world how much you're enjoying this podcast and how amazing it is. I hope that this episode has inspired you to find healing beyond words. And until next time, have a lovely day.